Present.
Okay.
Sort of must be AI doing our job.
Yeah, well, David Schmidt.
Yes, here.
Darren Olson,
Present.
Mark Lochner,
Present.
and I Parrish, just in here.
Those that are able, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Pat is going to read our virtue card reading for the night.
The virtue for tonight is service. Service is giving to others, making a difference in their lives. You consider their needs as important as your own. Be helpful without waiting to be asked. Do every job with excellence. When you act with a spirit of service, you can change the world. You are practicing service when you want to make a difference in the world, look for opportunities to be of service to others, do thoughtful things to help your family and friends, work with enthusiasm. Don't wait to be asked when something needs doing. Do your part to care for the earth, recycle, reduce, reuse. Affirmation. I am a person of service. I have compassion for those who need help. I do my part to make a better world.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat. Board of Education guidelines with an open mind will establish an atmosphere that allows expression of all views, even when views are not in line with all members, being respectful of time. We work collaboratively with the district administrator by having open and honest conversations around district priorities. We work collaboratively with all stakeholders to monitor key indicators so that equitable teaching and learning results in high achievement. We will work toward building a trusting environment where both students and staff can reach their full potential and celebrate successes in academics, the arts, and athletics. And then any public comments for tonight? I'm gonna skip over that section then. We are gonna roll into showcasing schools and student learning, CWSA update. I don't see Anita tonight, but
I've got that.
Anita,
Yes, so again, and here's the note that she wrote out, and I'll just give a quick commentary on it. So they met on Monday, April 10th. Students in CWSA right now are doing testing, forwarding exam, just as with everybody else in the building right now. In March 23rd, they had their third showcase. So many adults and children entered the 5 to 7 p.m. event and the showcase. And so that one, just all the students come and present on what they've been doing. One of the students, it was fascinating, went ahead and anodized metal right in front of our eyes. Go ahead, not with the big electricity, they did a chemical anodization instead of bringing all that power in there. But it was a combination of it, and just really, they watched it. We could see the metal turn its colors and, you know, etched a CWSA thing on all the thing. It really was awesome. But just everyone follows the passion project as they're going with that. Now, for the next showcase, that's going to be centered in, it's going to be in May. They have one every quarter. It's going to be centered on the Renaissance. And so they say they're going to be doing a Renaissance fair. Now, when you say Renaissance fair, you might be thinking jousts and jugglers, but they're actually doing the actual Renaissance. They were talking about Machiavelli the other day. They're, you know, things that in the Italian Renaissance and all the Leonardo da Vinci, and here's the basically all the different forms of science and art and all that came together on that. And so they're going to be shown on May 22nd. They're going to have their own Renaissance fair, but with, again, more Italians than knights in that particular one out on the AMS soccer field. So we're looking forward to that one. And that's
Is that the time of the history they made trebuchets and things like that?
that was a little before that on there, but CWC is always up for a good trebuchet. I've seen more than my share. I've seen a few of those over the years. So
Yes.
we could certainly come that one, but that's sort of the theme that they're working with and have focused for the last quarter. So now one really exciting. So April 6th and 7th, 15 students went up to Trees Tomorrow in Eagle River. And so that is an environmental education area they worked. They spent 2 days and 1 night. They studied tree identification, observation skills, animal classification and adaptations, animal habitats. They also had a lot of fun, just like low ropes courses and things that, so for leadership and team building skills, that they had a bunch that sort of worked through that. And so that's just an area that we've had some talks about what they'd like to go ahead and perhaps use our school forest and find ways to be able to build out some things that help with team building and growing areas that sort of come in responsible ways. And so, but they modeled that. They were able to get out and just, you know, see much hands-on, and it was very well received. And that was a fun group. fun trip. So science social studies topic has been centered on what could a new Nekoosa look like. Project is used for a culmination of the school year event in May, followed by everyone. So they're all going to have, it's on the same night as an AMS band presentation. And we've got a lot of center members in band. And so they're going to do it that evening. Then everyone's marching on over to the band concert to go ahead and support everyone who's there. So that's how they're doing that. Now, they've given two presentations. This is the time of year where they start talking to fifth graders. CWSA runs grades 6, 7, and 8. And so they always want to let incoming sixth graders know what's coming in. We've also had people join at 7th or 8th grade, but generally there's larger groups that sort of work with that. So they've given presentations twice now to the groups of the fifth graders, piquing the interest, and families are starting to ask questions and finding what's going on. It's kind of a fun exploratory, where the fifth graders work alongside the existing CWSA students, getting a feel for the community, those type of things. So also they're doing this year again, it's been 2 years since they've done it, but they're doing another weather balloon launch. That's going to be in the fall of 2023.
You don't have any jets around in the area.
Yeah.
That's a fair.
Let's go to find
Next thing we know again.
However, if you go back a couple years, however, when that lasted a weather, and they also did it in the fall there. But what they do is they pretty much just launch it up and they have a camera attached. And that's, you can watch it sort of rise over Nekoosa, but then it got up so high before the weather, when the actual balloon popped, you could see the curvature of the earth below it.
Oh,
It was up in the total space and black. And then it falls back down to earth, and they have a chase team that goes after and finds it where it is.
Oh, that's great.
But they did it 2 years ago. Wonderful. They're bringing that back. We're looking at the end of the year here, but they're moving that to fall of 2023. So another one of those, it's awesome stuff for that. And now CWSA Governance Council is finishing up a revision of their bylaws, and that's roughly where they're at right now.
What was the date for the Renaissance?
Renaissance Fair, thank you. That is going to be May 22nd.
Okay, I had it right. I was just.
Yep.
They got a showcase on the 11th, don't they?
They've got the showcase is the March 23rd was their showcase. Basically, the May 22nd one is going to be effectively their showcase for the last one. It's always a wrap up at the end of the semester is where that tends to go. And I think that's how they're running that one.
All right, any follow-up questions? Thank you for that update. And then we're going to roll into overarching results 22-23.
Yeah, so what we have for you tonight under overarching results, we're combining it with athletic programs update. And Paul Hahn put together this little handout. You probably had a chance to look at it in your board packet. But that gives you a summary of the winter sports. And that's it.
If there's any follow-up questions on the winter sports, reach out to me or Terry, and we can reach out to Paul too, if there's anything more you wanted to see with that.
Yeah, the only thing on the wrestling side, it's survey results, and it says need to connect parents and some athletes for boys and girls program. Do you know what that meant?
No.
They know what that means?
I will find out.
Okay. I don't really, it's like there's spelling things in there, or not spelling, but okay, need to connect parents.
Might be
Okay,
a-
that I can understand. And then some athletes for boys and girls programs. I guess I didn't.
So they're bringing the Boys and Girls Club? Or,
Well, I would
Or
assume
the
that was
programs.
I thought it was the,
Yeah,
I'll find out and get.
okay.
yeah, it's just, it is nice to see that we have pretty good participation in, well, all three of the winter sports, really. I mean, we always like to have more, but 19 girls out for basketball, 30.
That's huge compared to what we had
Yes.
last year. Yeah.
So.
awesome. All right, well, we'll have Terry follow up with Paul on those questions, and then if there's anything more, just let us know. We'll roll into communicating with the board, Linda and our business manager.
I will defer.
She's gonna defer, all right.
That's gonna have to.
And then our director of student services, Brian Grimm.
I will not defer. Real quick, just to let you know about some of the summer work I'm doing with our school nurses. So this summer, we will be coming to the board to talk about two major topics. One being due to the increased use of unfortunately fentanyl and it being around in schools, things like that. A lot of schools, and it looks like eventually down from the state, there will be a push to have Narcan in schools. So we are collecting policies and procedures from other districts who are already doing some of that, that we're gonna have our own policy to have Narcan in each of the schools. Because unfortunately, it's just become the reality of society right
It's
now.
almost no different than having the AFib machine.
Correct. So we will be bringing policy and procedure and training forward to say who will be trained on that, where will it be kept and all that, just for your approval in the
What is
summer.
that?
This summer.
No,
So this,
the Narcan, what is that?
Oh, it's for.
so for drug overdose,
Okay.
to help bring them back if they're in the
So
middle of
education on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So we will be doing that, but then we will also be bringing forward policy, because we just noticed, like Denise, as you know, is retiring and we cannot thank her enough for all the work that she did. But during her time when it was just her, she was busy keeping up with the day-to-day. So the policy as to when a kid is sick was that look like when can they be at school, when can they not be at school? It's a little outdated and needs to be updated. So it won't change a ton, but it'll talk about like if a kid is throwing up in school, you have to be 24 hours vomit free, fever free, things of that nature, just to bring that all up to date. So those are the two things that just in July, probably I will be coming back with school nurses just to say, here are the next policies that we need to add. So
Are you guys gonna be a part of the Narcan distribution program?
as of right now, no, but we're looking into it. That's,
There's a
we're in the
second
early
phase, yeah.
stages,
Okay.
yeah. So we're trying to make sure we're ready for when that does come, that we're
Okay.
part of that.
Yeah, I know that you guys will probably get an allotment, and then there's a big opioid, basically calling it a pandemic now, so I think it's good to have it in the schools just in case something happens, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for the update. It's good to have that in the school, so.
Yeah.
Is the intent with that Narcan, would that be that any teacher could administer it, or would it only be like a certain number of response team that could administer it?
That's exactly it. Be more of a response team, certain trained people.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna get everybody on board with being able to do that.
Correct. And two, we wouldn't want everyone to be able to do that. You want to train staff that would be able to identify when someone may be overdosing, things of that nature. So it's going to be a very select few staff.
Thank you, Ben.
No problem.
And then we did have our athletic. Well, actually, I know Keith's not here. Did Alexa have anything for anyone to read on?
No, I don't think we got anything.
I do know a couple sporting events got canceled this week. I know baseball did, softball as well. I'm not sure what the track meet.
Track also got canceled.
So hopefully those athletes can get back into their games soon. So,
Can I add?
oh, yes.
7th and 8th grade softball is playing their first game this Monday.
Nice.
We're playing Rapids, so
Nice.
this is a big one.
Home or
Yes.
away?
Home
Nice.
game, yeah.
Monday night.
Monday night, 4 o'clock.
There's a lot of home games next week, so if anybody wants softball or baseball or middle school baseball, because I think I'm here 3 times next week.
Yeah.
So myself, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff to watch if you guys want to watch.
Middle school baseball is probably the only one that's on the road. You got
Yeah.
a game away Thursday, so.
Yeah, we're away on Thursday with you guys, so.
Okay.
We'll be wishing everybody well if you can't be here.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move into policy governance then. So this is going to be just a reading, a second and final reading. For the past couple of years, the board has been working really hard on athletics and coaching and turning programs around. So I think this is a good way to finally kind of set forth that motion and to get stuff set. So Terry, if you wouldn't mind just reading.
I'd be
that
happy
for us,
to. The
so that we
district-
get approval.
Yeah, the district administrator shall maintain athletic extracurricular programming that offers challenging and relevant opportunities for all students so that the district maintains and or grows participation in all athletics, extracurricular programs. The preponderance of evidence demonstrates a winning culture. Over time, there are more wins than losses. Actively engaged youth to varsity, actively engaged youth to varsity athletics and extracurricular programs supported by actively engaged school board, students, parents, coaches, booster clubs, and community members.
Any questions or anything more that you guys, I know we picked through this a lot of times. Is there anything more we want to add, or are we all good to put this motion in favor?
But I have one thought, maybe not as much to add, but one of the things like at the middle school, got the ability to, parents can help out, they gotta pass the background check and things like that. And the more and more, I'm like, we're getting more involvement. But we're also getting more and more kids that might be their first time out and they need a lot of extra work. I mean, I've got a kid at the middle school baseball level right now that he doesn't know the game, never he's never thrown a ball or anything like that before in his life. And I could spend my entire practice just working with him, but I got 23 kids. So you can't do that. So I somewhere along the line, I think we would need to have a discussion about a way to get, because I've got 3 parents that said they would help and I sent them the background check link. But you've got to have a support system so a coach isn't spending all of their time with one in situations like that. What I'm saying. So that's something that I think.
Well, with the policy, I think that would fall a lot under the athletic director and the actual coaches, but this specific policy is just to help to promote the athletics and to get that going.
That is a really good point.
But the promotion is there. I mean, we've got kids going out for sports. We're seeing the increase in numbers, but with that
That goes back to that first generation.
Right, you need so many coaches for so many players, and then when you got like I got 22, I got 3 coaches, you got 24, you got 2.
Yeah.
So at some levels you need more than others because that's when they are just starting.
Or that volunteer bank, like
Right.
Mark says.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just need a motion for this one. So a motion to approve OE 11.5 athletic program.
Also move.
Second.
First and second, those all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carried. Thank you.
I'm making every motion today, Pat.
Gotcha.
GP 11, board
making
members violation, second and final reading. So for this aspect, we just added in a simple sentence just to kind of clarify. We bolded it in there.
Yep.
So I guess Terry, if you just want to read the bolded part and then we'll get that approved as well.
So we added under policy board member violations. If the violation is against the president, the vice president should be notified and use the following as a guideline to a remedy.
And I know we've poked at this for a while too, so I think I'm just gonna look for a motion. I think we're all in favor of that, so.
I'll also move.
We'll give that one to Jared. All right, second, Dave. Those all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carried. Moving right along to our last one for governance tonight is GP 12. And that's board member monitoring responsibility. Terry.
Yeah, I'm going to read the interpretation of this. Board members are responsible for monitoring all school board relations and GP policies. Any potential violation of these policies should be brought to the board's attention at the time of the violation and properly reported at the time of monitoring that particular policy. A majority of the board may call for additional monitoring of policies as necessary.
We did have a pretty good discussion around this at our workshop too. I didn't know if there's anything more that you guys wanted to add or talk about.
No, I think it's a good policy and. So, yeah. Also move.
All right, first, second, those all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. If no one's opposed, perfect. Motion carried. Thank you. And our last one here, just with other board, we have a couple. The school nutrition request for proposal, and this will be our business manager, Lynn Knight.
So in your packet, I gave you a timeline of what I have done for the school nutrition renewal. 5 years ago, we went out for bid and we selected Taher for our food service management company. We were in the hole in the excess of $100,000 and it was just climbing. So basically, in order to, by state law, we have to make food service their Fund 50 whole. So we have to transfer that from Fund 10 into Fund 50. So basically, we're taking money out of the classroom and putting it towards our food service program. So they have a balanced budget. Since Taher came on board 5 years ago, we went from in the black or in the red from over $100,000 to in the black in excess of $120,000. So we are doing very well with Taher. We had some bumps here and there, but we had struggles with our staffing. We had struggles with our food service director. We now have a new food service director, Paula West, and I believe you saw an email from Nathan in regards to how well she is managing that program. So by law, we are to go out for bid every 5 years. We went out for bid. I started the process back in January. The process is very regulated with DPI and the USDA. So there's basically the steps that I followed is in the memo. There was only one, I sent it out to 18 vendors. There was only one response. Taher was the only response. We had a committee made up of David Schmidt and of Darren Olson. And we were required to evaluate the RFP, the bid that came in. And we did an evaluation, and the committee is recommending Taher as the food service management company for the next 5 years.
Hard to believe that it was 5 years ago that we had them here too. So, and I did have a good conversation with Lynn today on the phone, and I got all my answers answered for, or all my questions answered for me. Sorry. So, any further discussions on?
When we met as a committee, they presented this book. I mean, it's very.
Yeah, so
very
if you haven't a
detailed.
chance, you might want to take it.
Very, very
Yeah.
detailed from Taher. Yeah.
Very much. And
All I know is after they hired the new gal, I was walking in Hunky one morning. And I went by and I thought, man, that smells really, really good. And they even offered me some, no, I'm kind of busy, right? I gotta get going with.
no, and even in that book, it has like her resume and everything in there and everything. So it's quite the proposal in that book. Also,
Very professional.
we have had some bumps in the road. When we were at the school board convention, we got to sit down and talk with them. And actually one of their managers,
Yes.
would he be?
Yeah, he's a regional manager.
He was actually driving over some Sheboygan
Yes.
every day because they didn't have enough employees here. So he was driving every day back and forth just to serve.
All winter, most of the winter.
Yeah.
During the
So they're-
storms and whatever.
It appears that they're very committed to us and committed to having us have a good program. So that really sticks out to me. And I'm really glad I got to talk to them
Yeah,
down
me too.
there. at the-
We were really impressed when we talked with them down there. We talked
Yes.
Quite a while.
We did. We must have spent there, hour up and a half.
Yeah.
I guess I just have one question. Okay, so when it was internal, we were $100,000 in the red.
Right.
And when Taher ran it this year, they were $100,000 in the black.
For the past 5 years.
Or,
Yeah.
over the 5 years,
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
5 years,
yeah.
okay. So does that money, I mean, is there a way to like monitor? I mean, if we're seeing, like, one of the things that complaints I heard was there was a decrease in quality and things like that through some of that. So is there a way to balance that or monitor that a little bit? So
Sure.
if they were saving $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, could that quality have been bumped up a little bit to be more equal or? And, I guess I'm trying to get.
No, I see what you're
I'm
I
trying,
think she gets what you're
yeah, so.
It's a really good question, Mark. And I have to tell you that the leadership at the level of Taher was very, very poor. It was poor. We now have a food service director that she was serving food in Stevens Point. She doubled the participation rate. She knows what the kids like. She wants to make sure that she talks to the kids and make sure that she makes what they want. If she makes something and she goes to the line and the kids don't eat it, they're not making it anymore.
Okay.
So it's absolutely leadership. And I just actually talked to Paula this morning because I know she was thinking, she's had about 3 job offers already. And I said, I talked to Jim, the vice president of Taher. I talked to Michael, the regional manager, and I said, whatever you do, you had better keep her Because I'm not going to my school board to recommend Taher, and all of a sudden we don't have a food service director. And she came to me this morning and she said, I'm staying with you. Big sigh of relief.
She has really seemed to make a big difference.
So I thank you for your comments, and I am gonna actually talk to Paula again next week, just so, you know, we're cognizant of it. We want to make sure that we keep on top of it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that $100,000. Now, does that kind of make up for does that get put back in?
It actually helps the program, so we have more money to spend on the program,
Okay.
which is good.
And
Yeah.
just a testimony, I actually eat there most days on there. And, you know, she got some middle schoolers asking for seconds on broccoli. I kid you not. She, you know, did something, she's cooking it up and doing some things with it. And, you know, it's not the standard thing. Again, since the change in there, it is not just the food quality really has gone up, but it's also just been, these are people who I enjoy having in the building. They care of the kids. They're interacting with them. They're working with them. And, you know, that just beyond all the other type of stuff, they're part of what helps. They're pouring into the kids. And that is just,
They brought that up when we were talking to the school board convention too, how they want to be part of the whole school. They don't want to just be servers one part of the day, and they want to be whole part. And even at Michael, he says he's got young people coming up and giving him hugs in the hallways and stuff. And so he's.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't they say that, we can use some of that money for improvements in the kitchens?
Yes, then we're actually looking at that, so
Yeah.
Well, all right, so we will,
thank you.
we'll use those
Thank you, Lynn,
conversations.
for your work on that.
You do a roll call vote then.
I'll need a motion in a second.
Darren, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for the school nutrition.
What's on there, that one?
And then we'll do our roll call vote.
Okay. Cody Babelski,
Yes.
David Schmidt.
Yes.
Darren Olson,
Yes.
Mark Lochner,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Awesome. So motion is carried. Thank you again for Lynn and our committee there for checking that out.
Thank you for allowing Taher in the school, because it's just really good for everybody. So thank you.
And they were really, that was the only request for proposal one? No.
Out of 18. Yeah. So they really care about our district.
And then now we're on our 23-24 CISA 5 contract.
So I'm gonna just hand the reins over to Brian, because most of the contract is special education.
So you will notice on the CISA 5 contract, there has been a significant increase. The big increase, I want to point your attention to the school psychologist. Right now, as you know, Bill Gerbode has resigned from his position, and he is taking a position closer to home. So right now, I do have a backup plan with CISA 5. We have our school psychologist position posted. But school psychologists, as you know, are extremely difficult to find. We have an offer out to our third candidate now. Hopeful that she will accept, but right now they have it built into the contract that we have a full-time school psych through CISA 5, and they already confirmed that we would have someone. So that's just in the event, but you will notice that quote is close to $156,000. So I am hopeful we find someone, because that would significantly lessen our cost. But that is something I just wanted to make you aware of. The other areas for speech not speech and language, I apologize, occupational therapy, physical therapy are similar to other years. And then the amount for visual impairment is for a student that we have that is visually impaired. But due to the amount, I worked with Lynn and we already claimed high cost claim due to that. So we get some reimbursement every year for the cost, because if a student, their needs exceed $30,000 throughout the year, we're allowed to submit high cost claim through the states to get a percentage reimbursed. And that percentage changes each year, because it's all depending on how many districts submit the high cost claim. So some years where there's less districts, we get more back. Other years we get less back, but we do get a percentage of that back.
So I just want to explain what the CISA 5 contract is, and I know Jennifer's in the audience here. So the CISA 5 contract is an annual contract that we contract services with CISA because we can't handle all of the needs of our special education. And CISA 5 also offers some programs for the educator effectiveness. Is that correct?
Yeah, and
Yep.
professional development.
Professional development that we use. So a lot of school districts in the areas have their own CISAs. We belong to CISA 5. I think there's 9 CISAs in the state. We belong to CISA 5, so we do a lot of contracting with CISA.
And for some of those special education services, due to the amount we need, like occupational therapy, physical therapy, we don't have enough. Like Rapids often hires their own occupational therapists. But for some of the smaller districts, we contract with CISA, then they hire a person, they travel between the smaller districts to hire them at full time.
And I included a budget comparison too.
That was nice, thank you.
Yeah. I have a couple questions, if I may.
Sure.
You were talking about getting some money back.
Mhm.
Can you give us a guess of what that might be?
They said if it stays
I
at
know
the
the guess.
rate.
Yep.
So right now, with what I submitted to the state, they said if it goes percentage wise as they predict, we should be getting about $28,000 back.
So pretty significant amount of money.
Yep, and then that's also taken off, like, the good thing about their system that they built. Linda and I have the beef with the state system, sometimes the program itself. It does then automatically transfer to our maintenance of effort. So our maintenance of effort, because that's less money, we're pulling from Fund 10 at the year for the Fund 27 transfer. So this helps us with that.
But I want to be crystal clear, we don't get nearly enough money to
Correct.
fund special education.
Correct.
We're at like
Yeah.
28%, and that is ridiculous, and we're fighting that at the state level. right
Yes, we are.
now. That's just my little government.
But that,
You better throw
I'm
that
just
flag in.
very closely to help make sure that Fund 10 transfer at the end of the year. Any spot we can claim exemptions, we can get high cost claim. We are applying for those things to help with that Fund 10 transfer at the end of the year. I agree, the rate is not what we want it to be, but we're doing everything we can on our part to claim everything we can.
Okay, I have more questions.
Go for it.
So, 100 and almost 160,000 for the psych services.
Mhm,
Okay, so if we hire our own,
mhm.
roughly how much difference is that? And I know it's all negotiable.
Oh, between like,
So what's coming out of Fund 10 then? Okay, how much?
About 40,000.
Okay, so 40.
It's ridiculous, I know.
No, I'm just trying to do the math. So even though this is going up 111, we're saving 70 or 110,000 on our regular salary expense right now.
Correct.
So we're
Paying.
paying, but right now we're paying over here. Now we're gonna pay over here.
Right, but
So we're
It's
not,
more, it's more.
Yeah.
it's more, but
it's a safety net. This is a safety net right
it's
now.
$40,000, right?
yeah,
Not 160,000.
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
because I still need a school psych either way.
Yeah.
No, we have to have it, and I just, so I just tried to balance in my head, so it's not really, well, it is really, but, okay, in my accounting brain here.
Mhm.
Last question, why did the Wood County alternate school costs go so far down?
Because we're not using as many seats.
Okay,
We're not.
is that the
don't
one
have-
we have so many seats purchased every year?
So they changed their approach. It
Okay.
used to be that you paid per seat, and if you didn't have a seat, you couldn't send someone out there.
Right,
They changed their approach and you pay for what you use now,
Oh,
which was a great shift in what they did. Because prior, when I had one student out there, but I had to pay for 2 seats because that's what we had as a district with 2 seats. And they said, we're changing the model. And now the cost that you see, it went down so much because currently at this point, we have 1 student out there who actually just started about, Nathan, help me, I think 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. So that's why our costs went down, because now you're just paying for what you're using. And you're not paying to hold a seat.
Okay, so Brian, for Jennifer's sake, just talk
Yes.
about Wood County Health.
So for some of our students with disabilities, we out in Vesper, there's a CISA 5 run school called Wood County Alternative. And that's a school where when we have tried, because we're a smaller school, have tried a lot of things to support the student socially, emotionally, mental health, behaviorally. We have an option if they're a good fit to attend Wood County Alternative. To still receive education, but it's a smaller environment and really helps with the socially, emotional, mental health and behavior skills.
Was that the one that's right across from the County Grand Rapids Police Department?
Nope.
The
It's
old
out in
Vesper
Yeah, the old Vesper
Vesper
Elementary
Elementary.
School. Which we don't know how long, because I heard that building is now up for sale through the Rapids Public School District. So they may be looking for a new building location is what I'm hearing, depending if that sells.
So with the school site, so if we hire one. Well, but they're just in our district, and they would. So if you had one from CISA, you could be looking at response time issues, like if you know, that they're covering multiple districts, and I would presume and may not always be available immediately if you needed services.
That was the one thing I talked about with the contract. I said I would need a full-time person here.
Okay,
And that was the commitment I asked them for. And they said what it would look like. I may have two, but I would have one here 3 days a week, one here 2 days a week. So, but I would always have someone here every day
okay,
for the day to day. Now, the only difference is with contracting with CISA, they're simply here to do evaluations and that's it. Whereas right now, our current school site, they do evaluations. They also sit on district leadership teams for MTSS to help move those processes along. But that's not part of the services CISA offers. So they're literally here just to do evals and make sure special ed paperwork is done. So there would still be a loss by going to CISA. That's why it'd be ideal, like we can find our own.
And
That
we're
would be
working hard.
ideal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But I know over time, those positions,
half the services.
yeah,
correct.
that's exactly it.
Mhm.
but those are hard to find people for those.
They can name their price.
Well, I
As long as they
think
don't say 159.6.
I'm with you.
it's important regardless, and I know it'll go a long way, so we'll look for a motion then on this 23-24 CISA 5.
Also move.
Second.
First and a second, those all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, motion carried.
Thank you, and please know I'll work hard to try to get the school site passed down, so.
We'll keep you posted.
Mhm.
Can I just ask an administrative question? So the request for the school nutrition, that had to be a documented vote, but this one doesn't?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the school nutrition is in excess of $500,000, so.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's fine, okay.
Consent agenda, resignations. Anyone in-house want to touch on any of these? If not, I'll roll into employment.
I just want to say Lisa Myland was a retired teacher that came back just for 1 year, but she made a huge impact in special education. And the only reason she's like, yep, I'm retiring for a second time, because she's just like, she helped fill in special education, but she's like, I'm just ready to be retired. So she came 1 year and just was phenomenal. I cannot thank her enough for everything she did. So,
And we'd like to thank the others too, for their
Yes.
service to the district, Ben, Ashley and Tia.
And
Just
then,
losing a lot of people from Bunkie.
Yeah.
and then employment, we have Haley, our new physical education teacher,
I can speak to that one.
coach, AMS and NHS.
Yes, and she is replacing Jim Carroll, who's retiring. But again, she is just graduating right now from Stevens Point, but she grew up in the area. But she is phenomenal. Connects well with students. She's able to just a great mindset, well up to date on everything that's going right here, and just how can we make it work? We're excited. I'm very excited for the way she can connect with middle school students. And she'll also be working at the high school. Recently, we had a training, they had to recertify all the ropes courses where you can go up the climbing walls. And she was able to join us for that and work together with the team. The high school teachers are phenomenally excited to work with her as well. And so she's going to be working with essentially all of our, she'll be working with Josh Thomas very close to the middle school, but also with Candace Strelo and Paul Hahn at the high school. And it's a great match.
And we have made sure that the athletic directors have been involved because we really want to rely on those coaches and her two fields of athletics were what, volleyball and softball?
Volleyball and softball are the things that she's currently coaching and doing quite a bit with it. And again, and making sure the balance of, again, loves to be involved with various things. And my concern is, I'm as a principal just looking is just make sure you don't say yes to too much too quick.
So as a side note, Paula West, who is our food service director, she also coaches.
Well,
There you go. She coach.
Oh, what did she say? Skip-ball, maybe? I don't know. You'll have to touch bases with her. Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, go ahead.
That's right, though. I remember you knowing that.
It's a good segue. And I know Denise Niprath has given a lot to our school district, and I believe this would be her part-time replacement, Cammie Lobner.
Correct. So Cammie Lobner is a parent in the district as well, certified nurse, and she's excited to hop on board and be the other half to Jade Plummer, who's our other school nurse, and already emailing and say, what can I learn? What can I pick up on? So very excited.
That she can walk to work.
Exactly.
A number one person.
Yeah.
I've had her, I've known her and her husband, and I've had her kids and everything, and my kids were a number one person. So
Yeah.
we're lucky to have her.
Is
Yeah.
Brian your husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, congratulations to the employees of the Nekoosa School District. And then Darren, if you want to read donations?
We have a lot of donations today. This is awesome. See if I can get through this. So we received $1,000 from Adams Columbia Electric Cooperative to support Angela Hillmeyer's hydroponic flex farm project. And that's a lot of money. 1,000 board feet of lumber donated by Chad Aldrich. And an oxy fuel cart donated by Roger and Jody Wilcox. And then for Backpack for Kids, we received $900 from Lake Arrowhead Snow Blast, $130 from the Bethlehem Women in Missions, $300 from the Nekoosa United Church of Christ, $13.75 from Rural Makers, and $25 from the Sacred Heart Collections. And then Families Helping Families, we received 2 donations for that. $374 from the Nekoosa United Church of Christ and Port Edwards United Methodist Church, and $47.25 from the Port Edwards United Methodist Church. So that is wonderful, and this is the biggest list we've had, and we always have a nice list. So it's very nice to see our community helping any way they can.
Thank you, Darren, and thank you again for our donors this month. And then just to follow up, on March 8th was our board meeting, the 24th was our board workshop. We also had one on the 12th of April. At this time, I'm going to call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Also move.
First and second, those all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And then lastly here, before we adjourn, we have a few things. First of all, May 10th will be our reorg meeting at 6 p.m. here. And then May 10th again will be our regular board meeting at 6:30. We'll be going over wellness policy, WIA 23-24 membership renewal. And then lastly here today, I wanted to thank our 2 board members to my left, Darren Olson and Pat Rachesky. We have something for you guys here. For years of service, Darren Olson, we got you here down for 5 years.
Wow.
And Pat's 8 years of service. So thank you both very much. I believe the floor is yours if you guys would like to a speech. Not to put you on the spot, but
Go ahead.
I'm glad to serve. I've been on twice now as kind of replacements for people that have either had to resign or wanted to resign, or in the last case was Brian who passed. So I feel that everybody should try it. Do your duty if you can. We have good people coming on, and it's a good time for me to get off because I'm a new grandpa. So
Yeah, it's been a real honor. I came in like Darren, I came in when Wayne Freeman passed away. And I was, appointed to the position and ran 2 more terms. Diana. I'd like to thank Diana though, because she made this easy. She made doing for me, and she knows how tech challenged I am, and she helped me out a lot. And everybody it's been a pleasure to work with you guys. And I chose the virtue of service intentionally. I went through the whole list, and I do believe I congratulate Jennifer and Ann. I've known Ann for half a dozen years now, working with the academy, and I just met Jennifer the night of the forum, but I knew her voice, and I told her, I says, you're going to be good, this is good. So congratulations to you guys, and I too am. I'm not a brand new grandpa, but I got another one.
yeah.
She's a redhead. So. Anyway.
What does that mean?
Well, we have bonded though. We have bonded well. And I guess it's like I was telling Cody, I get to get out of the helicopter now. And Jennifer and Ann, you can ask the board members what that means. They'll explain it to
You
you.
got a lesson on the helicopter today.
You gotta see now, you know what I'm talking about. I get to be out of the helicopter.
Well, we want to thank you guys again. Through your guys' service, the school district has gone a long way, and you guys have set the ropes and to keep moving forward on the work that you guys have done. So thank you again for your time. So I'm gonna wait for Darren to tell me the meeting is adjourned, and we'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
First and second, those all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, motion carried, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Cody.